Hi everybody. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic and one that I've gotten a lot of questions about, which is remote neurofeedback systems versus NeurOptimal home neurofeedback. So if you've been curious about how brain training can be done from the comfort of your home, stick around because we're going to talk about the key differences between these two approaches. I'm Natalie Baker. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and certified neurofeedback trainer. So neurofeedback is a cutting-edge technology that uses real-time monitoring of the brain's electrical activity to help self-regulation and optimize mental performance. But there are two different primary methods for doing neurofeedback at home. So we're going to break down the differences between remote neurofeedback and NeurOptimal home neurofeedback. So first off, let's talk about remote neurofeedback, often called protocol-based neurofeedback or linear or classical neurofeedback. This type is designed to target specific brainwave patterns and symptoms. And here's how it works. So first you take a brain map like a QEEG and you assess the brain activity and identify dysregulations. So then there's a protocol design where a trainer designs a neurofeedback protocol set based on the EEG results. And then during the training sessions, they're done at home and you receive auditory and visual feedback designed to help that brain move towards healthier patterns. There is supervision. The practitioner is there doing the oversight to make sure that the protocols are set correctly for what's needed and that there is not any needed or necessary side effects. So this approach is highly customized. It requires ongoing professional oversight, making it ideal for addressing specific conditions with an expert provider. So now let's talk about the NeurOptimal home neurofeedback system, which is a different form of brain training. Unlike protocol-based neurofeedback, NeurOptimal is designed in a way that it does not require the initial QEEG brain mapping or protocols. And the reason for that is that it's a later generation of neurofeedback and it in real time gives the brain feedback about what is maladaptive. So the sensors are put on the head and they monitor brainwave activity during a session, and the feedback is delivered in real time, showing the brain what is maladaptive by interrupting audio cues whenever turbulence or brain change is noticed by the system. And just to give you some idea of how fast the brain operates, it picks up 256 data points per second looking for state change in the brain. So this style of neurofeedback is showing the brain everything that is both adaptive and maladaptive, and that brain is the expert rather than the trainer who decides whether or not this is a good thing for the brain to continue to do or if it's maladaptive. So you don't need the same level of supervision because no protocols are being set and they're not being changed. Again, that protocol setting, trying to get the brain to register what is maladaptive and changes, happens in real time. So with the NeurOptimal system, it's showing the brain everything. So whether that comes from specific symptoms or it's from the stress response or someone had a concussion and the brain is trying to heal from that, there could be many things that produce the maladaptive patterns, and all of that is shown in real time. So really, you can think about it as being both specifically looking at what's maladaptive, but it's also promoting overall wellness for the brain and mental and emotional resiliency. Let's break down the key differences between remote neurofeedback and NeurOptimal. So there are a couple of different variables that we looked at so far. One is the approach. And the approach for the remote is protocol-based. It's the first generation and it targets specific brainwave patterns identified through the QEEG or brain map. Dynamical nonlinear neurofeedback, which is NeurOptimal, is really looking at the overall brain performance. There is no brain mapping required beforehand because that mapping is integrated in real time during the session. Another variable is supervision and oversight. So this is a key difference. You absolutely need oversight from an expert trainer when you're doing the remote protocol neurofeedback, because they need to understand how you're responding to the protocols they're setting. If you're having any side effects, they want to know so they can tweak the protocol. So their involvement is key, and having somebody who's done it a long time is very important. So the difference, of course, with the NeurOptimal, as discussed, is that it's fully automated. So you do not need a provider to be there online with you when you're doing your sessions. So it's much more flexible in terms of timing of sessions. So again, what about the customization? So the tailored protocols are based on that QEEG assessment, and the system adapts to changes based on what the trainer does. With the NeurOptimal system, there is constant adjustments millisecond by millisecond, because it's responsive to how the brain is functioning in the present moment. So it's a little bit more user-friendly. You don't have to worry about the hookup, because there's line denoising, so any environmental hertz frequency in the environment is identified and disregarded with the NeurOptimal system. So another thing to look at is, well, what is each system focused on? And so with the protocol system, you are looking at in training and migrating or nudging that brain based on that QEEG, and also usually a specific diagnosis and symptoms. And those specific diagnoses and symptoms, as reflected on the brain map, is then what is being worked on through the training sessions. And so the focus for the NeurOptimal system, again, is global functioning, showing that brain everything that it's doing. Your own brain knows how to identify what is maladaptive and change that so that it functions at its best, regardless of whether it's coming from the symptoms of ADHD or poor sleep or whatever. So then the last question, which is an important one, is which system is right for you? Number one thing in my 12 years of experience of offering neurofeedback is that it's really important to find a provider that you trust, and also someone, particularly with protocol, that has worked with the issues that you're coming to seek help with is also key. Both NeurOptimal and remote neurofeedback can be effective for home training, so that's not an issue of comparison. However, if you've already started with in-office protocol neurofeedback, you can continue remotely and do a remote program with them, or you can switch to the NeurOptimal for more flexible training. And if cost is an issue for you, then I would definitely look at the NeurOptimal system because it tends to be less expensive per session when you're training at home, because you don't have to pay for that ongoing oversight by the professional. So depending on your goals and budgets, and also finding providers that you can trust, those I would say are the key things to think about when thinking about what system is going to be right for you. And my final thought here is, no matter what method you choose, neurofeedback is an incredible tool for enhancing your mental performance and well-being. And so if you're interested in exploring remote neurofeedback and NeurOptimal further, please check out links in the description below. And if you want more videos, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and good luck with all of your pursuits to improve your mental and emotional well-being.